Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wrestling Fans Inside Sunday Takedown. I'm joined here by William. Hello, sir.
Hello.
And I've also got Carlos, who's wearing a nice little crown there. Hello, Rainbow Goodness.
What's up, guys? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you, brother. And we also are joined once again by Bryan, the Hype Ballard. How you doing, Bryan?
Doing good, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy weekend.
So, I think when you say his name, John, you need to have a little more hype in your voice when you're talking about Bryan.
Well, I can't help it with my little hillbilly redneck accent. So,
Hillbilly librarian redneck.
Hey, that's how you got to say it, though. You got to say it with a little hype, a little excitement.
There you go. Yeah. My God.
Well, first off, I don't have a good voice like you two, so both of you can kiss my ass already.
Says the guy who's heard the podcast.
There's the swear jar count.
Why don't you just have Danhausen put the curse on me, and then he can throw teeth down my throat and all that type of shit.
Keep your fantasies to yourself.
Hey, easy there, feller. And Carlos has already given us comments on YouTube, so
Wow, what a guy.
I know, man. Thanks for commenting there, Carlos Estrada. But
like a stud.
Yeah. So how's your week been, you two?
Good. I mean, I was just grateful we had a break, and we've had the week before we were like at 108, 109, and so we've had like a nice break. So we're in the 90s this week, so it's been good, and I think it was a good okay week for wrestling. I think AEW knocked it out of the park. WWE I expected more from them, but we'll talk about it here shortly.
With Bryan, how you been?
Yeah, it's good. It's weather here's been raining and sunning back and forth, and it was a little weird to not have any like major pay-per-view this weekend, but I'm okay with that. We got a little bit of a break, and I just, gets us time to refresh before SummerSlam and Great American Bash and all that fun stuff.
Did you not get the memo? You're supposed to watch UFC last night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen the Kingmaker's declaration.
Yeah, corporate synergy now. Come on, they're gonna be part of Endeavor now. We gotta go for that corporate synergy.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, UFC 290 was a pretty good event last night. I think only one fight went to just a first round, but the rest of them went much longer. And it was kind of scaring me because the prelims, I think half the fights were done in the first round, and they weren't quite sure how to fill the time. So, yeah, thank you to Envy Streams for providing such great service, too. Carlos, you recently won a subscription from them, right?
Yeah.
And have you been enjoying their service?
It's been good. I mean, I just have a ritual with my day. Like I go to the gym, watch wrestling. So I haven't used it that much, but when I used it to watch AEW, it was really good. And it's impressive. I mean, to anybody, if you're a sports person, Envy Streams 702, I would definitely be looking it up because it's a great service, and for the price that they charge, it's good. And I already decided whenever there's an AEW pay-per-view for that month, I'll definitely be using it for that month.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you, I've done a lot of I'm not sure if the new updates allow the multi-screen. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
But before the updates happen, I was able to do multiple screens of different events.
It has it. I saw that when I was on it last 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah. I'll tell you, nothing beats their service. You can just choose whichever you want to hear the audible on and all that. Only
issue I had with it was I couldn't get it on my TV, but I think it's because with the free thing I won, it was like once I picked my phone, that was it, But I got it all set up for when I do use it. But yeah, for the price, I mean, if you're gonna order a pay-per-view, you might as well just order that for the month and then you have everything for a month or whatever. It's definitely worth the price.
Well, yeah, $34.99 a month. You get all the sporting pay-per-views. You can watch your favorite sports team, baseball, basketball, football, even get the NFL Red Zone if you're a diehard football fan.
Exactly.
I mean, it's got so much content on there that you wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
And they got really good customer service too. They're only there from like 9 to 5, whatever like that. But they're on them. You can tell they take ownership of their company. It's a really good. I was just really, really impressed with them all together.
Yes. Anyways, sorry, William. He's giving me that look like, are we going to move on here or not?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I was going into a trance.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Maybe
He's possessed. He's part of the corporate ministry.
let's hope not. That could be a nightmare.
Well, hopefully he doesn't do naked Midian for you.
Oh, right. Why did you have to bring that back?
Hey, you know what? I'd rather be Viscera.
Oh,
Viscera. Yeah.
ew, ew.
When he got rid of the parachute for the outfit and,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
started
say,
wearing pleather.
if you're Viscera, does that mean I'm Mo from Men on a Mission?
Sure. But, we're going to have to get me a size triple circus tent.
Oh Lord! Now that we've went to a spot where we should never ever go again, well, we get this on the road. I thought WWE. I know we already got Carlos's take. I thought WWE actually did a little bit better for coming off a pay-per-view not too long ago. Well, excuse me,
Last week.
premium live event before all the IWC marks come after me. But what's your take, Will?
I think had they not spent the time that they spent on Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, I probably would have enjoyed WWE a lot more this week. But I think they did a pretty solid job. Like you said, they just came off of, a premium event. And typically what we see is everything just rolls slow at that point and then rebuilds.
Well, and as a fan who likes to watch action in the ring, I think they just kind of overdid it a bit much with theatrics this week.
Yeah. I can't argue with that.
I mean, if you timed it, the Bloodline had 45, 50 minutes of time. That's like almost the first half segment of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Are you including commercials with that?
No.
No.
So with commercials, it was like an hour of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, we ended up with 3 whole matches out of a 2-hour program, which was
Yeah.
And not just that, because their first segment went commercial free. So then there was all these other commercials in the matches, and it didn't flow at all. It was sad.
Well, I mean, you also look at the match that they had with AJ Styles and Karrion Kross on SmackDown. That kind of was a rush job that there was no sense to needing to have it.
I'm just showing him what I wrote down about that particular match.
I'll say it. Will wrote down, holy fucking short. Yeah, that was.
I literally turned my head to eat my pizza because I tried that new Jets place that's over here.
Oh, how was that, by the way?
Fantastic. You got to try it. It's a little expensive, but it's good. But no, by the time I got done chewing and turned my head again, it was over.
Yeah, and they had Karrion Kross. I don't know if that actually was a legit injury he had with his leg or whatnot, but I mean, if he had an injury and you're doing a short match, why'd you even bother having the match?
Yep. Just have them.
Well, no, maybe they're supposed to play into that, but their time got cut because they went over in time.
Oh yeah, I mean that was just obvious. It drives me nuts to see too much of the drama play in the ring rather than seeing action. If I'm spending money to go to those events, you better be doing a taping or a few dark matches with that, because to me, you kind of really killed the fans' value of attending the event.
Especially in Madison Square Garden. Come on.
For sure. But anyways, as far as
Bryan, did you want to give?
Yeah, Bryan, did you have any opinion on that?
Yeah. My really, Bloodline's their hottest storyline, so that's what they gotta really hone in on and to draw people in. The hard part they got to do with that is they got to make this thing drag out till SummerSlam now. And so in addition to that, we are like I think Will just said, we're in that dry period where all storylines, they're almost on idle mode, and they'll kick it up here in a week or so because we got almost a full month until SummerSlam.
Well, and not to kind of repeat what you said, Bryan, but I think they're actually going to drag this out through Survivor Series, and I think we're going to see a War Games event, the Bloodline versus the Usos with their respective teams. Who will be on those teams, I don't know, but that would be something I would love to see come up for this year's Survivor Series, assuming they're going to keep the War Games addition to that event like they did last year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that will carry out there. I could see on one side you have the Usos and meaning all three possibly, Solo and Jimmy J, and then I could see Sammy and Kevin getting added through to their side of the team. And that means Roman's got to do some recruiting. So that might be the way to extend storyline with, a weekly or every 2 weeks, joining new blood into the bloodline, so to speak.
Why don't we talk about that story a little bit too as it played out? We see Roman do a nice job of trying to, in a way, I guess you can play it out as he was going to look like he was going to stand down to Jey Uso and try to transition him to the head of table. But we see him give the classic heel low blow to Jey, and Roman and Solo just wipe the Usos out in that segment. But however, later, right at the last 15, 20 minutes of SmackDown, we see Jey come back from the hospital, gets his revenge on Solo and Roman, and Jey is holding up the undisputed WWE Championship in the air, which I made a tweet before that segment happened, and where I said, by the way, I haven't changed my mind. I see Jey dethroning Roman as champion and head of the table. Yes, I did get some backlash on it. Don't care. Still not changing my mind, but this was the direction I thought was going to happen in the first place. Now, whether it happens the way I say it will happen will be a different story. But what's your take on that, Carlos?
So it's funny because when you said that, because I was like, because I remember I think his name on Twitter is Chawman. He was talking about like how like this is like one of the first times where you've seen WWE like not change course on storylines, like even like Cody not winning, Damian not going with LA Knight with the hot hand, like they're kind of sticking to their guns with what they've had planned creatively. And so I'm interested to just see how this ends. Like I still think Cody Rhodes is the one. Like I just think, like our friend Ted, friend of the show, Ted the Hillbilly Hill, talked about the Usos and about Jey Uso a few weeks ago, and their money is in tag team wrestling, and that's just it. I think Jey would be a cool champion, but he would just be a transitional champion. He's not going to be the guy they have going around, doing the charity things and things like that, like Cody Rhodes. So I wouldn't be mad if Jey Uso wins because it is a good storyline, but I just think Cody's the one, and I'm interested to see how things play out because I could definitely see Roman politicking in the back for his cousin, and maybe he's holding his ground that he wants it to be Jey because he wants to try to elevate him. But I also am looking to see if Roman kind of steers course and he'd be okay dropping it to Cody because I think Cody's the one that I think it should be Cody. But either way, I'm kind of cool with what they go with. But I'm just watching. I'm interested to see how it all plays out because I think about all the guys who probably had to do the job to Roman when they didn't really feel he was the man yet. So I'm kind of just interested to see how things are going to play out and how the politics and stuff are going to go, and how the storyline is going to play out. So either way, I do think Jey deserves to be rewarded for how much he's come along in his character work. And again, I loved main event Jey Uso, but I still think it's Cody Rhodes. But again, I won't be mad if it is Jey.
Bryan?
Yeah, so I'm not hating the idea of Jey. Again, how much sizzle does he have to the steak, right? Like how much, to Carlos's point, does he have as far as being the guy? John Cena, he is not, right? I do, I keep seeing these titles that they're all carrying, right? Paul Heyman's still carrying the 2 titles. Roman's got that other title. Are they going to do some weird storyline where they do like a 2-for-1 and each of the Usos are going to end up holding each of these titles in some kind of weird, unification tribal chief match? I don't know. But, I'm like, why have they not taken these titles away and just went with the newest title that was presented, right? The other thing is, with Cody, just kind of hinting on that, I talked on my show a little bit about, I got Cody as my biggest loser of 2022. And I'm going to go ahead and just call it early. And I don't see him in 2022 recovering. And I just see him floating in the island of irrelevancy. And hopefully he can pick it back up in 2024. But right now I'm just kind of calling it done with him for this year because I wanted him to be the guy. I love the Rhodes family. I think they're, great. He'd be a great face for that. But I just don't know if that's going to happen in the immediate future. And so that's kind of my overall take on some of those things. But I do see, and I'm not hating the idea of the Usos in some format holding some of those titles.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Let's say Jay beats Roman for the title at SummerSlam, and then let's say Roman regains the title at Royal Rumble, and then Cody beats Roman at WrestleMania. Does that having that title reign for Jay and then Roman winning the title and then him finally does that cheapen Cody's win if he's not the one to beat Roman?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good look on.
Because do you honestly,
if that truly is to close for Cody to complete the story, then it definitely weakens it.
So John, just to counteract, what you said, like you're going with Jay, you think Jay Uso could main event WrestleMania 40 night 2?
If they build him up right, yes.
Okay.
But again, that's if they build him up right. We've seen those. Those types of instances where they've totally failed it, and
especially with Vince and creative. I mean, the first time Jey Uso has a bad day, I can see Vince go, "Let's put the title back on Roman." I don't see Vince seeing Jey as the guy. I just really don't. But I see Roman politicking for it in the back for sure to give him a chance. But it makes me really uncomfortable because I could just see Vince just changing course within a whim, and then it's going to cheapen Cody getting the belt.
Well, it's exactly what they did to Kofi Kingston when he was the WWE Heavyweight Champion. He was champion up until they decided, oh, well,
placeholder for Brock.
Yeah, Brock's coming back. Let's have him destroy him in like 8 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck?
But one of my things I was really critical on was Roman taking a pin last weekend. I almost felt like whoever became champion should have been also the first one to pin Roman in the same match. And I felt like that would have been like more bang for the buck. And now I understand why they did it, because they got to keep us interested and keep a story and have something to talk about. But I was a little bit like, man, we just dwindled down the idea of winning one of his championships. And then, again, the fact of him carrying 3 championships dwindles that down. So.
Sorry, William. Let's get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Hey,
acknowledge him.
Hey, you better stop with this one word thing. Leave me alone. Anyways, I'm actually good with either one of them taking it. But to your point that you made, John, is you get that middle kind of transition. I'd almost rather see The Rock come in and take it.
Ooh. The problem with bringing The Rock in, though, is getting long-term.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think bringing The Rock in would be a wise move right now, given age, and he's not going to be there for very long. Or are you talking?
I'm not saying give him a long reign. I'm saying give him a short reign, have him get his butt whooped, he's out. But that prolongs this story.
Yeah, so you keep the title. You keep the title on Roman for like another year.
No. Nope. What I'm saying is have Jay or Cody take him out, and then Rock comes in. Rock gets the victory. Then he gets taken out the next.
All right. I mean, that could be another possible direction to go.
I don't think we're going to see it.
But. No. I think they just waited too long if they were going to use The Rock for this.
I don't think The Rock's coming in. I just think he told them finally no. Thanks, but no thanks.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't blame The Rock for one, but again, I think a lot of it comes to long term, and if the deal's right, and I just don't think right now is the time for it to happen.
I kind of wish Umaga's son was a little further.
Yeah. Is that Jacob?
No, Jacob Fatu is just like a cousin.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Umaga's son just started wrestling. He just started wrestling.
Yeah.
Which one is he? I can never keep him.
You probably haven't heard of him. They just had a thing on him on one of the dirt sheets. Like Umaga's son has started wrestling, and it's like he's like in some little federation right now.
Oh, okay.
I want to say in Florida.
All right. Well, we go ahead and move on. Let's talk about the other faction now. The Judgment Day. We see Damian Priest was about to trade a cash in up until Finn Ballard decided to kind of, I guess, even up the distraction and interference. Priest was about to cash in on Rollins until Finn Balor kind of nosed his way in and started attacking Rollins. And we see Carlos's favorite Dom trying to get them to play nice with each other, but obviously it did not work out very well. Why don't we start with
the Peacemaker?
Yeah, why don't we start with Carlos on what your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, I mean, so just really quick for me, talking about the Judgment Day, I thought Rhea Ripley and Natalya, I thought they really shined. I really thought they were, I thought that they were the stars of Monday Night Raw. Like if I would have been stressed for time, I would have probably fast forwarded that matchup, not even watching it. But I think those two women kicked ass, and again, that was part of Judgment Day. I mean, just being such a presence on the show. I mean, congrats to those ladies for throwing it down this week. As far as the other stuff goes, I don't know how to. I don't want to see. I think like Damien's the muscle for Judgment Day, and if he leaves Judgment Day, who are they replacing him with what's his name? Big head. What's his name?
McDonough.
The guy from that. Huh?
McDonough.
JD McDonough. Yeah, I just don't see that. Like he's so short, and I think they need muscle. I think they need Damien's muscle. And I like Damien, Rhea, and Dominic really a lot together. So I wouldn't really be upset if Finn got booted out. But at the same time, I like Finn as a heel, and he wants to be a heel. So again, I don't know how to take all this yet. I don't want to see. I would like to see the faction. I would like to see him helping Damien, not splitting it up. At the same time, I think it's a good storyline. But I want to see Seth actually get a good feud and not just like going on. But I thought overall, after watching this and letting it kind of sink in, I'm glad they put the money on the briefcase on Damien because he's put his time in the company and it's a good choice. And so, Bloodline is it's a good stable, and you might as well keep going with it. They are the hot hand, but I'm definitely intrigued to see where they go with it all for sure.
Bryan?
Yeah. So for me, I am a fan of unsuccessful Money in the Bank cash-ins. And here's why, because when that happens, that makes the actual successful Money in the Bank cash-ins valuable. And it gives us memories like Seth Rollins at WrestleMania or Edge when he won his. So I do think Damien winning, the storyline's baked in there with Finn Balor, but I do think that ultimately does lead to a Damien Priest unsuccessful cash-in on Seth Rollins. And I don't think that's a bad for anybody. I don't think that's bad for Damien to get that kind of rub and exposure. I don't think that's bad for Seth Rollins. So I do think there will be a cash-in. I think Finn could ultimately cost Damian Priest his opportunity to leapfrog him, which then sets up a nice feud that's been happening all along here. And, that could be maybe even a SummerSlam match or at another headline, pay-per-view, a bigger one.
Yep. So I haven't put a whole lot of thought into the Damian Priest and the Money in the Bank. I kind of agree with Bryan about the legitimacy of those cash-ins and what it means to lose it versus win it. But I think I'd rather see Damien actually take it. But where I'd want to see something change is maybe it's Finn that turns on them, keeps his heel, but tags up with, say, JD McDonough and goes after Judgment Day as a faction.
So kind of like what they did to Edge, they cut the old guy out.
Yeah, but kind of in reverse.
I'm a little confused on in reverse.
That was more of a one-on.
It's the same. It would be the same thing.
Are you saying this would be Finn's choosing to leave the group?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I was trying to
Okay,
get
gotcha.
at. Okay, that's where I was trying to get at on the psychology wise. But
and I wouldn't mind that. I mean, because I like Damien, Rhea, and Dominic together a lot.
I think
they seem like family members.
I think it would also give both those teams, if they did that, a proper and good chance to take a run at becoming tag team champions.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
Yeah. And I like the idea of Finn get them before they get me kind of thing. Because who better than their leader to know that they're like a pack of hyenas, right? So yep. I like that idea.
So now the question is, who becomes the leader of Judgment Day?
Damien.
Mommy.
Mommy.
See?
with her two subs. With her two subs.
Not Dirty Dom.
Well, I mean, Rhea Ripley's already the manager of everybody, right?
What do you
So
mean?
with Judgment, so with what you're saying, William, would Judgment Day stay heel and then Finn would be a face?
See, and that's the other thing is
Because I don't want I cannot see Dominic as a face.
I would honestly prefer to see that for them
Really?
to try to go
Okay.
face. I think it would stir things up enough.
Then him and his dad reunite and hug it out. And
Yeah, and then the later betrayal where he takes out his father for the retirement.
okay, so he's gonna be the new Big Show.
See
I
how
want
many
to see
face
Damian
heel
running the
face, heel
LWO.
You heard him.
All right. So moving on, why don't we talk about where we're going to see the WWE Women's Tag Team division go? I'm a little frustrated with that at the moment.
Me too.
And there's Carlos.
What, Carlos?
Can we just put a bunch of eye roll emojis on the screen right now?
Jeez. But yeah, I'm still flustered after last week's episode when we discussed how short the Shayna and Ronda title reign was, especially when they hit the key points on the head. You know, the women's tag division's been weak. I'm not so sure after seeing what we did on Raw with the Raw women or the tag.
It's okay.
Tongue twister today.
Take the time.
Yeah. After seeing that tag team turmoil for the women's challenging for those titles here, we end up seeing Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green somehow bypass every challenger they had thrown at them. Do we think these two are a real threat to dethroning Raquel and Liv? Well, we start off with Bryan on that.
All right, here's what we do. We bring Duke the Dumpster Drosy back out of retirement to be the official spokesperson for the Women's Tag Team Championship. For the younger listeners that don't know who that is, just look it up, 90s wrestling.
You can actually watch the last Battle Riot for Major League Wrestling. He's actually in it too.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, these tag titles are trashed. I mean, I have not cared about them for a while. I got a little excited because I was like, okay, Team UFC going on here. I could see a little bit of that. And then it just went right back in the dumpster for me. And I usually don't flat out trash a title or a programming, but here we are. So people still like Liv Morgan well enough, but she's not as hot and over as she was as that championship run that she had. And she's trying to drag Raquel with her, who's still getting acclimated as far as the fan base and the presence that, you know, the casual fan would see. So, yeah, I guess I don't want to say scrap the titles, but maybe just scrap these titles because there's not a division to support them.
Well, first off, I'm a little disappointed in your creative, Bryan, because I would have just had Alundra Brill.
Oh, yeah.
Braze?
Medusa.
Yeah, let's just have Medusa trash the damn titles.
That would make more sense being female, right? So she can just
or have Cora Jade do it again, you know, one of the two.
Let's just do a mixed tag and get Duke, the Dumpster and Medusa as a tag team to win them and then throw them in the trash.
Or we can have Medusa and Cora Jade team up with Duke as their manager, and they all can throw the titles in the trash at once.
They come into the ring in a garbage truck, you know, forget the milk truck
and you know what? We pan into the trash can, we can see the 24/7 title in there as well, and just everything else that got thrown away over the years.
Yeah.
Hornswoggle makes one last appearance.
Yeah. But Carlos, why don't you give us your take if we dare get it?
I just think I mean, you know, I give Tony Khan a lot of shit for the way he books the women in his AEW. So now it's WWE's turn. I just think this was trash. I think this has Vince all over it. I would hope that Triple H wouldn't be booking the women like this if it was him, because I feel like this is Vince's booking. I mean, you totally shit all over the way, you know, like Candice and Indy. I mean, like Indy's first match back seemed like an afterthought. I mean, that's what pissed me off the most. It should have been like them it should have been like them in the finals, you know, like again, like, and to me, like, and again, if it's an open challenge, why didn't you bring over not Ivy Nile, but the girls from and the former NXT Women's Champions. Why weren't there any SmackDown champions or teams in the thing either? I love Chelsea and Sonya as a tag team, but I just feel like this whole booking is just garbage. I feel like they're just scrambling now because they decided to. Oh, Ronda might have reminded them that it's time for her to go. You know, it's just the whole thing just makes Isla Dawn and what's her name? Elba Fire should be champions right now. Liv and Raquel should be feuding with Rhea, and that's the other thing too, because the rumored match for SummerSlam is going to be Rhea against Raquel. So right away you're just saying again that the women's tag team titles are an afterthought and they don't matter unless it's going to be Chelsea and Sonya are going to win before that. But again, even in talking with it, it's just a clusterfuck and it makes no sense. It's like these titles have no prestige whatsoever. They might as well just be a candy bar like the New Japan TV title. You know, it's worthless.
Yeah.
And talking about it just makes you think how dumb this all is. God. All right, let's just go with Bryan's idea and get it over with.
Put it out of its misery.
Yeah. Okay. So my only thing with this is they've shot themselves in the foot way too many times with the women's tag team. They've done the bad booking. We've talked about it before. It's slapped out of nowhere. They don't give them time to actually work together. They throw the titles around. It's pointless. The only two things that make sense to me at this point are either get rid of them completely or build some kind of a challenge where they've got to build up as a team in order to reobtain those.
It's a combination of all three of you. The problem was at the start, it wasn't a bad idea. However, we don't have anybody that's got tag team ideals.
Yeah,
creatively.
Like honestly, I would have seen Gigi and JC Jane, Toxic Attraction,
reunite.
Had they not destroyed those two and taken them apart, that was a huge mistake.
Yeah, those two really should be on the main roster now.
They should have been on the main roster, and they should have been the contenders.
Katana and Chance with them, and then with Isla Dawn and Elba Fire. And again, like put Tamina and Natalia. They should be focusing it with the undercard women instead of like taking women that just in case, like, hey, we're not gonna put you in the title picture right now, so we're gonna throw belts on you, like, and then but when we need you, we're gonna just pull you out abruptly, and then the division's fucked. They should just be building it with the undercard period, you know, and then it would probably shine a lot better and not change course.
Yeah, and I agree with Will. I think Toxic Attraction was their last legitimate tag team in my eyes.
Katana and Chance too. Don't
I think Chance and Carter and Isla
Chance and Carter, yeah.
Alba Fire. Alba Fire. I thought they were the last legitimate teams, but the problem was they moved Alba Fire and Isla Dawn too quick. I mean, why would you get rid of your tag team champions right there?
Yeah, and it's almost like they waited too long to move Chance and Carter.
Yeah, they should have moved them up the minute they lost the championships. It's just a clusterfuck at the moment. I don't know what WWE's creative's doing, but obviously somebody did not have the mind of tag team wrestling. And
it's Vince. It's all Vince. I guarantee you.
Geez, why don't you just throw it out there, Brian or Carlos?
Whoa.
But anyways, I mean, I know a good chunk of it probably is Vince, but it's not just Vince. It's the entire creative. So,
yeah.
Well, while speaking of tag teams, the Creed brothers no longer with NXT after losing a losers leave match town against the Dyad. We're going to go to Will first.
Will, this is Will's baby now.
Yeah.
Okay, so knowing everything that we know about what's going on with the Dyad and the Creeds, I mean, I agree that it's time to move the Creeds up. I just think they did this absolutely stupid. There was no point to giving a win to the two guys who have been requesting their leave.
Yeah, well, not only that, but you didn't move the Creeds up during the draft.
Yeah, that's, to me, this whole entire move was idiotic.
And the thing that I thought was if the Dyad was staying, they were going to put the gold on them, but that wasn't the case.
No, they basically said, here you go. You're not leaving.
Yeah, it's kind of the typical, as Carlos would say.
And I don't like that.
Here's-
That's the way that they are ending the Crees run in NXT. That irritates me.
Yeah, I really hope Ivy Nile goes up with them,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's going to happen,
It's not.
which is sad. to say.
I think because I read somewhere that they're not leaving NXT yet. I think they're coming back as masked wrestlers.
I sure as hell hope you're joking.
Oh, I swear to God, I read somewhere that I read on one of the sheets that they're saying that the Creed brothers might not be done with NXT yet. I really think they're coming back as like masked wrestlers.
No, don't pull a scripts on us.
If that happens, I think we can definitely see where that's going to go real quick.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your thoughts?
So I always kind of feel like
Conquistadors.
the WWE, wants us to just remember like, oh, well, whatever happens in NXT, it doesn't matter. And this is another example of that, right? Like we're not supposed to pay attention to that and say, does it make sense when they come to the main roster? I don't agree with that, but I just feel like that's the narrative on the main roster is, oh, well, whatever happens down there is down there. But I mean, I wanted the Creeds on the main roster for a long time. I think they're one of the most legit tag teams that the WWE has right now. And, I like tag teams that actually look the same, that have, kind of like you can get away with it with the Creed brothers, but a team name, right? I hate when they just throw people together and say, oh, this person and this person, so I'm excited to have them on the main roster. I'm just going to, not even worry about how they left, assuming they are going. And anytime you can have more legit tag teams, I'm all about that.
It was really quick. It was Meltzer who wrote. He said, he heard from a really strong source in WWE that one person very close situation was outright told that it's an angle and that they'll be back. So again, that's why I think maybe they'll be masked wrestlers.
No,
You're done?
I don't have anything more to add. I'm just done with that
You
already.
picked this topic.
I heard they're going to come back as the Lucha House Party remake.
Oh, I thought they were going to come back as the Ding Dongs or something like that.
Oh,
Or
God.
no, what's the Mr. Americas?
No, that was overplayed already. Plus, I think.
I mean, it is back. I mean, it is a Great American Bash coming up.
Well, I think Hulk Hogan actually started out as the Mr. America character only. I don't think he was called Mr. America, if I remember right. He wrestled in a mask, and I'm not sure what happened, what went away from that, but that was a good move anyway. We've seen where that career went. Yeah, I have nothing more on the Creeds. Do you?
No.
No?
No.
Carlos, do you have any more to shit on while we're at it?
No.
Okay. Well, I suppose, Brian, you probably
Chad Frost at his finest is all I'm going to say.
Well, wait a minute. I thought this was Vince McMahon.
No. The whole NXT.
Well, this is NXT.
Chad Frost.
Oh, well, I
You must
guess
be
the only
watching
thing
some
left. I guess the only thing left is throw your partner through a glass pane window or something. So,
They already did that with. They already did that with the.
Oh yeah,
Toxic
JC Jane and Gigi Dolan. I forgot.
Yep.
Only that was with a door, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ding dong.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. There we go. Thanks, Bailey. Anyways, yeah. Did any of you guys come up with a top 5 for?
I
this
came with the
week?
top 10. Or
I did not.
Top 10. Jesus, man. You're a little too dedicated there.
it was. I thought we're doing different shows separately. So I mean, I don't know what side of the bed you're gonna wake up on. So I don't know what you're gonna want.
Oh.
No, we decided top 5 on the shows in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I've got a top 10 for you.
Oh. Well,
See, no, we did a top 10 for each brand last time.
yeah, but we were
John.
gonna knock it down to top 5. So,
I mean, are you dreaming about me again? Because I don't remember this conversation.
oh dear,
Oh my goodness.
oh dear. Anyhow, I guess I'm not gonna display that banner. Thanks, Carlos. But why don't you?
We could do top 5.
No, we'll go top 10.
I can easily cut it down in half. It's not a big deal.
All right, Carlos, why don't you go you top 5?
All right, so my top 5 for the week. Since we're doing this, I'm going to go with matches. I'm going to give my number 5 to Grayson Waller versus Edge. My number 4 to Eddie Thorpe versus Damon Kemp and the NXT what was it called? NXT
Underground.
Underground match. I thought they really did a good job. I love Eddie Thorpe. Number 3 would be Natalia. Number 2 is the Bloodline, and then number 1 is Judgment Day.
Yeah, William.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number five, Lyra Valkyria. Number 4, Samoa Joe and CM Punk.
Oh, you did for both brands. Okay.
I did. Number 3, the Dyad. Number 2, Bullet Club. Number 1, Matt Sydal.
Oh wow, you really did do both brands. All right. So for me, my number 5, even though we just kind of shit on it, but I gave it to Sonya Deville and Chelsea
good
Green
Lord.
for surviving
Because
fight.
you gotta put a woman in there, Tony Khan. Huh? You just had to put a woman in.
Oh, listen, shithead. I don't need your crap. My number. Thanks, Carlos. Now you got me all flustered. My number
Truth
4.
hurts, huh?
My number 4, along with Carlos, went to the NXT Underground with Damon Kemp and Eddie Thorpe. I thought they did one hell of a job with that match. My number 3 went to Rhea Ripley and Natalia. They killed it on Raw. They definitely were match of the night there. My number 2 went to Roman Reigns for doing quite the downplay on that little bit of segment they did on SmackDown. My number 1 goes to Jey Uso for the revenge on both Roman and Solo. So now let's go right into our shout outs. Bryan, you got any shout outs to give?
Nah, just thank you to everybody in the community and, just everybody that interacts with us each day.
Carlos?
Same with, not any. I'm good. I'll let you do them all. Take it, John.
No, good Lord. I give you just a little bit of shit last week. You can do at least a couple.
No, I don't want to steal any of your shout outs. Heaven forbid.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
I'm staying out of it. Like, thank you, listeners. Thank you, team here, but I'm out.
And that was more than one word. I'm surprised you could do that.
But everybody's about to catch
Oh,
a piss.
damn.
I'm about to stop being lazy.
Just put a cigarette in his eye.
Oh, here we go. Well, here's my shout outs for today. A shout out to one of our co-hosts, Heather. She's still kind of been out with some personal deals. So, Heather, we hope things are going good for you. We hope to have you back soon. Want to give these podcasts a shout out. Wrestling World from Austin Boyer, Fan in the Van, Steel and Teal Talk, which is also kind of a mixture of Fan in the Van and Is This a Bad Take podcast. Two Dudes Sports News, Nate's Daily Wager. Today We Laughed and Learned. Visit Vegas Places with Coyle. Ken with the Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle podcast. Also, a couple of shout outs to our very favorite people in our chat group, Gil Mary Gomez, Doug's That's It Suds, and at Rules Impact. So yeah, we're gonna get right to our closing credits. Quit making fun of me, damn it. I'm trying to get things going here. So big thank you to StreamYard and Spotify for podcasters on becoming our newest platform and home to creating and hosting the latest episodes of the Wrestling Fans Insight. They have made it possible to listen to our show on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more.
If you happen to like our show, we would appreciate a 5-star review. And if possible, leave us a review for us to read on the air for our future recordings.
Feel free to go to our website, www.wrestlingfansinsight.com, and subscribe to get notified of our latest releases. You'll also be able to find links to our show on your favorite listening platforms on our site.
You can interact with us in many ways. We have a Facebook group called the Fans of Pro Wrestling, or you can react with us on Twitter, enact, whatever. I am at William Hoppe 8. John?
You can reach me at WF Insight Podcast. Carlos?
At C to the LOS 77 or at Conquer the No.
And Bryan?
At the Bryan Adkins on Twitter.
All right. And we'll be back on July 11th for Tuesday Night Chaos with some of our topics from AEW. Please be safe, be kind, and until next time, please keep being awesome.